Good afternoon. Welcome to the Douglas County's Greystone Power Luncheon. I am Randy Whitaker with Bank of the Ozarks and your incoming 2017 Chairman of the Board. I would like to invite Judge Bo McClain to come forward and lead us in our invocation and pledge at this time.
One thing that we can all be experts in is prayer. So let's bow our heads to show reverence for God, and let's close our eyes to have just a brief moment with Him. Lord, when our path is dark or uncertain, we sometimes look for a light. Help us instead to put our hands, our lives, our hopes into your hands, which is far better than any light and safer than a known way. Let our human hearts be still. Be at peace, be satisfied that we don't need to know what the future holds because you know. Lord, you control the future and your will is perfect. We thank you today for the blessing that you have been to us in the past, the blessing that you are to us now as we gather together as a community, and the blessings that you will provide us in the future. In Jesus' name, amen. Let's pledge allegiance to our country. We pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. November is the month of thanks, and traditionally our thanks to elected officials luncheon. The Chamber appreciates all of our community leaders and would like to say thank you. Will our elected officials please stand and introduce yourselves?
Mike Dugan, I'm the Senator for the 30th District. Micah Gravely, House District 67. David Barber, State Court Judge.
Jay Collins, House District 68, elect. I'll take office in January.
Phil Miller, former sheriff of Douglas County.
Awesome.
Tracy Rutherford, Board of Education.
D.T. Jackson, Chair of the Douglas County School Board.
Robert Bruce, District 61, and Chairman of the Delegation for Douglas County.
Tom Worthing, Chairman of the Board of Commissioners.
Bob James, Chief Judge, Douglas Superior Court, until December 31st.
Kelly Robinson, Commissioner District 2.
Mark Adams, City Council, Ward 2.
Richard Siegel, Douglasville City Council, Ward 5. Mary Yockey, Mayor Pro Tem. Todd Calvin, Douglas County Tax Commission.
Shopper Danley, City Council, Ward 3.
Chris Watts, City Council, Ward 4.
Daniel Davis, City Council, Ward 3.
Carol Lindstrom, Vice Chair, Board of Education.
Bo McClain, Superior Court Judge.
Amy Howard, Superior Court.
Barbara Caldwell, Magistrate Judge.
Susan Camp, Chief Magistrate Judge.
Matthew Kroll, Solicitor General.
Brian Porter, District Inspector.
Thank you, and once again we welcome you. Will our chamber board stand and introduce yourselves?
Ken Bernard, local attorney. Dennis Boyd, AT&T. Matt Barrington, Regions Bank.
Also say yours.
Valerie Howell, Memorial.
Chris Pumphrey, Douglas County, Douglasville. Jill Strauss, WSA. Howard Ray, HRC.
Kira Christian, Grayson Howard.
So, we're also very proud of our 2016 Chairman's Club members that join us today. I'm sure many of you have noted them on the slides prior to the luncheon, but I do want to say thank you and recognize the group sitting here in front of you this morning. Finally, will our chamber diplomats please stand and be recognized as a group? As many of you know, the Chamber Diplomats are a group of 25 individuals who collectively represent the Chamber in the community at ribbon cuttings and events and in many other ways behind the scenes. So thank you guys. Now I would like to invite Steve Daniel, President of West Georgia Technical College, to come forward to say a few words.
Well, let me first say that higher education is a team sport, and we're very fortunate to have a strong delegation of local and state officials that support us. So I want to again thank all of you that stood earlier as the elected officials for your support and for what you do for our college and for education in general. But let me just say from the perspective of West Georgia Tech, we are very fortunate to be in the West Georgia region. West Georgia region is really one of those areas and unique areas of the state that's actually growing, and I know Chris and others of you that are involved in economic development see that every day. But we're fortunate that as educators in higher ed, particularly focused like we are on workforce development, we see a lot of that day by day with our students and the opportunities that many of you provide to them once they get out into the workplace with their new careers. So we're fortunate to have a lot of great partnerships. I certainly, Dr. Pritz, I certainly want to recognize CCI and what we do with the Move On When Ready initiative and what we do here and what we've done here in that partnership. Just a few stats. I'd be not a very good president if I didn't give you a few stats about the college. So I'll give you just a real brief overview of kind of where we are in a snapshot. We have 6,700 credit students this fall. That's an increase of 5% in enrollment from last fall. There are not many colleges, two-year colleges in the nation, and certainly very few in the state of Georgia that are actually in that position. And so again, that's much thanks to our partnerships and the partnerships we have with business and industry, but also the partnerships we have with our school systems, because much of that growth that we've seen has been because of the high school initiative. And again, thanks to our leaders in the state legislature for spearheading that. Mike Dugan and others that certainly spearheaded that effort. I want to say thank you to that. We have almost 1,100 students, Senator, that are now enrolled with Move On When Ready, taking college credit for free while they're in high school. That's a game changer, folks. And we just met with our area superintendents from the 7 counties we serve in West Georgia here recently in the school systems, and we have a target internally of 2,000 for next fall. So it's going to continue to grow. We're preparing our college for that, and I want to again thank the partners for that. We have a lot of things to be happy about as a college, and one of those is we have 50 years of serving in West Georgia, and so we are again very blessed to be in this region, very blessed to have served for a long time. So I'm going to yield the rest of my time, and I hope you'll enjoy this. This is a video we put together to celebrate our 50 years in this region, and it really tells a story of workforce development. So I'll yield the rest of my time. We certainly, our team, wave please, at our front table. Again, like any good president, I travel with the team, so if you do come up and ask me a question later and I can't answer it, hopefully one of those other smart people can. But I want to share the video with you. Hopefully you'll, again, enjoy it and share it. It's out on YouTube, so we encourage you to share it with others and tell our story. So again, I'll yield my time for that. Thank you. You know, this is an exciting time for us. 50 years as an institution in West Georgia. That's one of the things that we really want to recognize, that milestone. You think back of the careers that we were training people for 50 years ago to the point of where we're training them today. We've come a long way as an institution, and these communities that we serve have come a long way. We're very proud to be in West Georgia. We're very proud to serve these communities, and just look forward to the future and what it can bring.
Here at West Georgia Technical College, we have technical certificates of credit that allow us to really focus on the skill sets that employers need. For example, in as little as 3 semesters, a student can go from entry level to graduating a technical certificate of credit and be work ready with skill sets that are highly adaptable to the work environment and allow them to be productive on day one.
The biggest impact we have is the difference we make in the students' lives. When they graduate from West Georgia Tech, that their careers, their life as they know it's fixing to change dramatically. And it is so much fun to watch them. And when they come back to visit and say, y'all just don't know what difference you made in my lives. And so it's just fun to see that type of reaction to it.
Say I offered you a job for $75,000 a year starting out after high school. It would be amazing. Who wouldn't take it, right? I'm not here to sell you a car, I'm not a used car salesman, but what I am here to show you is that we offer this, and it is there for you, and it can't be given to you. It's not gonna be signed off to you, you have to earn it. But here at West Georgia Tech, we can make it happen for you 100%.
West Georgia Tech cares about community and they care about the student, and those are their 2 top priorities. And I feel like as an instructor, my job title doesn't sum up what I do, because what I do is change lives. And I change lives through educating our students. If you think about all of your worldly possessions, there's a lot of things that you can lose in life. And one thing that can never be taken from you is your education. It's with you throughout a lifetime. Even if you lose that piece of paper, you still have that knowledge. And that knowledge gives you power, and it gives you power to change your life as a student.
One thing that we've got going on here at West Georgia Tech is this wonderful Move On Room Ready program, and it's a state program. It's available for high school students all across the state. They are able to get college credit while still in high school at no charge. This means they can go to classes, they can get an associate degree, they can get certificates. They will be ready to be hired as soon as they complete their high school diploma.
I heard fellow classmates talking about the Move On and Ready program, and I really wanted to see what it was all about. And once I did get into it, I fell in love. Our school didn't offer AP courses, so the dual enrollment courses are really what made me shine to the scholarship committees. It's like the best thing to do in high school.
Well, the Move On when ready, like I said, it helped me get ahead, straight out of high school. And I would be able to get college credit and my high school credit for these classes, so I was like, why not? Why not? It's knocking 2 birds out with one stone. It's like, why not try it out?
The governor's identified strategic areas of the sector of the economy that are really in demand. And so for us, one of the things that we really see as a vital link is with workforce development being our mission. Without having that key link, we would never be successful and have the right programs to align with that. And furthermore, we never have the funding we need to support a lot of things we want to do without our strong partnerships and make sure we have the state-of-the-art labs, state-of-the-art equipment, scholarships for our students, and all the things that are just needed for a college to be successful.
We can't grow unless we have the workforce for the next generation to support today's skills and tomorrow's skills. And I think that's the one thing that the technical college brings to the table of working with the community, working with businesses in the community to understand our needs not only today, but in the future, so that we begin training. That's something that the college is working with us on to anticipate and meet those needs in the future.
The work that's being done here at West Georgia Tech is instrumental for us. Students coming out of high school are not quite qualified and ready to immediately enter our job workforce. Through the additional training they receive at West Georgia Tech, it enables them to be positioned and ready for our workforce, and we really appreciate that partnership with West Georgia Tech.
Our people go to work. When they finish their college career, they have a job. they have an opportunity. With our placement rate, approaching 100%, we pride ourselves on that. And so that's the thing I think we all rally around as a team, is to preparing those graduates, preparing those people for the jobs of tomorrow, and making sure that we have them in a place that really sets them up for a great career. And that's one of the things that we really focus on.
Thank you, Steve, and we appreciate West Georgia Technical College's support in making today's luncheon possible. At this time, I would like to invite Ken Bernard with Sherrard and Bernard attorneys to come forward and introduce today's speakers.
Thanks, Randy. Before I do, I'd like to give a pause just for a minute for something that Judge McLean said when he was leading us into prayer and also in the Pledge of Allegiance. This Friday will be the 241st birthday of the United States Marine Corps. It'll also be Veterans Day. And I think during times like this, we need to sort of reflect on who we are as a people and all the privileges and responsibilities that go with those privileges are. And so for me, it sort of hit home. The other day, I happened to be flipping a channel, got tired of all the noise, and put it on PBS, and there was a story about Marines at Chosin Reservoir in Korea. And I only want to tell you one small segment of it because it says something about the willpower of the American people and who we are as a people. It was so cold in Korea, and we were so unprepared equipment-wise, and in fact, some of the guys, there was no way to supply lines of food and clothing to some of these Marines. And they had the old-timey boots that were rubber. You people that hunt know what I'm talking about. You got a rubber boot, and then you got a wool inlay sock. And when you're marching and carrying 60, 70, 80 pounds, your socks sweat, and so your feet get cold and water gets in the boot base, right? One Marine had marched for so long in those conditions that he couldn't walk anymore. They pulled the boot off and his toes came out in the boots. In other words, they literally pulled his toes off, taking his boots off. And so if you ever question who we are as a people, think about people like that have served so we can be here today, elected officials, leaders, community leaders. We can say the pledge, we can go vote. There's a lot of places they would do anything they give eyeballs and hands and fingers for to be able to do that for. So one, I'd like to, before introducing our guests, if you're a veteran, if you are active duty and active reserve, if you're in the reserves, if you're in the National Guard, please stand at this time so we can recognize you. Thank you all for your service. As chairman of the Government Affairs Committee, it's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker. Roger Bruce represents District 61 in the Georgia House of Representatives. His district includes parts of South Fulton County, North Atlanta, Douglas County, and Cobb County. He was first elected in 2002 and has been reelected every 2 years since then. During his time in office, Representative Bruce has focused on issues related to special needs children, the aging, education, working families, and criminal justice reform. He currently serves on the Judiciary, Game, Fish, and Parks, Small Business, Job Development, and Aging Committees. Please help me welcome Roger Bruce.
They said we were the speakers, but they told us to be real brief. So I will do that. You know, today is election day, and I think most of us are on the ballot, so we probably have to get out of here and get back out to the polling places to make sure that everything is going the way we want it to go out there. You guys have honored me with the opportunity to serve as chairman of our delegation in the House side of the General Assembly. And we look forward to hearing from all of you on the 8th and 9th of next month. We'll have our hearings out here at the Convention Center. And, you know, the idea behind that is for everybody that has an interest in what we're going to be doing in the General Assembly to be able to come out and talk to us and let us know what it is that you want, because that's why we're there, which is what I was told is the reason why we were supposed to come up to talk right now, is that people have asked, well, why do you do what you do? And sometimes I wake up in the morning and I ask myself the same question, because sometimes it's a challenge. It's difficult to get legislation through that General Assembly. It doesn't matter whether you're in the majority party or not. I'm sure that when my colleague comes up, he'll tell you that it's just as difficult to get a bill through even when you are in the majority, because there's so many different ideas and diverse interests in this state, all across the state, and you have to get a lot of people to agree with what it is that you want to do. But what motivates me is those mornings when I wake up and I get a call from a little lady, an old lady that says, Representative Bruce, can you help me? And and she tells me, I had a contractor. Hopefully there's none in here that would fall into this case, but I had a contractor who came to my house and said that they were going to fix the kitchen in my house, all of the issues, and redo it. And they came and they took everything out of my house, and it's sitting out in my driveway. And they said if I want them to put it back together, it's going to cost me another $30,000. And so you look at what our policies are as it relates to construction and how you deal with people, and you find that there's some holes in the process. And you come up with legislation that defines a method for basically venting people who say that they are contractors, and have them go through a process where they can become licensed contractors, which says that they have done some things to demonstrate that they are going to treat this lady the way she's supposed to be treated. And most contractors that I've come into contact with are good people. But there was a bad one that got to this lady, and she needed help, and I was able to help her. Just like another lady who called me and said, Representative Bruce, my sister has cancer. And we don't have the money to be able to help her get past that cancer. Do you have any ideas or any suggestions on how we could help her? And it just so happens that because we're in the General Assembly, we're always getting information that other people may not get. And it just so happened that I had gotten a letter not too far prior to that, where someone had indicated that they were with a research firm, and that research firm was working on some study about cancer that happened to be the same type of cancer that this lady's sister was dealing with, and that if we knew people who had this cancer, that they would take care of all of their medical expenses if they allowed themselves to be part of the test. So I put the two of them together, and I'm glad to know as of about a week ago that she is cancer-free and all of her medical expenses are covered. And so that made me feel pretty good about being a member of the General Assembly. And I would bet that my colleague has similar instances where people have contacted him for help. So it's not all about, we want to get bills passed, we want to get bills defeated that are not good. We want to make sure that the state budget is properly set, but we also want to help people who need help. And be honest with you, I find more pleasure in that. We want to balance the budget, but I'd like to keep somebody alive too. That makes me feel real good. And so with that, they told us to make it brief. I encourage all of you to go to the polls today, vote for whoever it is that you think should be the best president of this country, and but make your point heard. And when our next president is elected, I hope that you will help her do everything that she needs to do to make this country great again. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Bruce. Our next speaker, State Senator Mike Dugan. Senator Mike Dugan was elected to State Senate for Georgia's 30th District in early 2013. Senator Dugan represents Carroll, Douglas, and Paulding counties. In 2015, Senator Dugan was selected to serve as one of Governor Nathan Deal's Senate floor leaders. Senator Dugan is Secretary of the Veterans, Military, and Homeland Security and Public Safety Committees. He's also a member of the Economic Development, Public Safety, and Transportation Committees. Please welcome Senator Dugan.
Does this thing come on? Yeah, I hope it does. I can't stand behind the podium. First of all, if you didn't get to stand up earlier, stand up now. Come on, now stand up if you haven't already stood up today. Thank y'all. It's good to have somebody that doesn't have to be here in the audience. We appreciate y'all being here. And I saw your Kiwanis thing at Walmart coming up here. I'm looking forward to being there. Now that I've given Kiwanis some love. The story is when I was coming over here today, I was running from my office and to get my trucks, I'd be here on time, and I lost the sole off my shoe. So, I get here and I was leaving my office in Atlanta and I lost my sole. And they said, yeah, we were afraid that was going to happen to you. But it was LE now, so we got to keep that straight. Roger's right. I mean, he pretty much hit everything down. We have a pretty close group that works together, regardless of party affiliation, within Douglas County. Now, we have different visions sometimes on how to get from point A to point B, but all of us are committed to trying to make our districts, our state, our part of the country better than it is today. That's the whole goal. That how you get there, like I said, varies every once in a while, but the end result is we want our kids to be the most highly educated kids, the next generation to be as fully prepared as they possibly can. We want quality health care for all Georgians. We want a job market that's out there that is not only available to the workers, but we have workers available to the job market. Because as it sits right now, if you go out there, one of the biggest issues we have with growing our economy even more than what we're doing so far is we're running out of available workforce. So how do you identify that? You go, how can I work with these people and the school systems here to get them ready to go into school for, into the workforce? And that's stuff that we'll sit down amongst ourselves and, in the next month, I guess, we'll sit and have a listening session over a 2-day period with y'all and get even more ideas. So why do we do it? Why do we do this? See, when I was looking at the slide that was up there, that's almost like watching a video of my kids. When I watch that, because of the involvement with that bill, that to get those kids in there. So when you're watching, that was my bill. And when you see that, that's like, wow, that actually worked. And I shouldn't be surprised. I should be like, yeah, I knew that was going to work. But you have an idea, you put it out there, you do a lot of studying on it, you bring people on board, and you pray for the best. But it sure is nice when it actually works out. Every one of us wants to do what we're doing to make where we live better. And I'm going to say that. That's going to be a recurring thing for the 2.5 minutes since Roger went long. That's going to be a recurring thing. You're not doing it for the money. You understand we make $17,000 a year doing this. We run every 15 months to make $17,000 a year. My wife says that we actually put in rules that you can't spend more on a campaign than you earn in that job. That would change the dynamics of the political process significantly. But, so it's not the money. It's not the prestige. Because when I go somewhere, half the people know I do something, but they have no idea what it is. You're our, and they just point, and they go, I know you do something. But they know, at the end of the day, when they have an issue, like Roger was talking about, they have a number and a name that they can call. And I'll have calls from everything from, hey, somebody's pulling my pre-K kid's hair at blank and blank pre-K. I need you to do something about this bullying. And they're dead serious. And that is the most important issue that they have going on that day. And so you treat it like that's the most important situation. You have the next call right after that will be, you've got to impeach this president. And you go, dude, that's kind of not my level. You know, I'm working on some hair pulling right now, and I'll get back to you. So it runs the entire gamut, but it is nice. The most rewarding thing about it is not the baby photos that you see on the screen. Those are important. But the most important thing is when you help a constituent and you're working through the process, and at the end of the day, they call back and say, the issue's resolved, I appreciate your help. That is the most rewarding part of this job. And I want to thank y'all for giving me the opportunity for doing it for another 2 years. I appreciate it. I understand that it's not something that you take for granted, that you're going to get to do this, but I enjoy it, and I appreciate y'all letting me do it. Thank you.
Mike Roger up real quick. Mike, thanks for pointing out what you do. I thought you cooked the food today. I didn't realize that. Sorry. We've got time for one question each to Roger and Mike. If you have a question that's not too negative and positive and uplifting, stand up and be heard. Let's do this. Let's all unite behind whatever decisions are made today. Let's be a good country. Okay?
Thank you, gentlemen, for taking time out of your busy schedules to be with us today. We appreciate all you do for our community. And now for a few announcements. All right, announcing Buy Local Bingo, sponsored by Bank of the Ozarks. Grab a game card, they're on your table. If you visit 18 out of 24 member businesses to qualify for a chance to win one of 24 door prizes. Please remember this holiday season, buy local. Shop with our chamber members. Principal for Day is November the 15th. This is your chance to shadow one of the principals in Douglas County school systems. Applications are available online, and the deadline to apply is today. Douglas County's 4th annual Festival of Trees will begin the first week in November. The items will be on display on the 3rd floor of the Douglas County Courthouse. This year's beneficiary is Children's Voice CASA. Additional information is available at the registration table, or contact Miss Jennifer Moore. Where's Jennifer?
Right here.
There she is. All right. West Georgia Technical College has provided door prizes, so I'm going to ask President Daniels to come back up here and draw for those prizes. What we got? All right. We've got West Georgia Tech book bags.
Yeah, that's it.
Is Vanna Daniel
That's
holding
right.
it?
I won't take everything out.
All right, our first ticket is 078083. All right. We have another book bag. Seven 78096. 096. Here in the back. All right, and our last book bag, 78179. 179, right over here. Thank you. Thanks again to West Georgia Technical College for sponsoring today's luncheon, and to Greystone Power for their naming sponsorship. Remember, today is Election Day. Utilize your ability to vote. Have a good day.